where he said, if I had, even if that terrible shooting, I'd probably have gotten in there even if I didn't have a weapon. That's what a 10-year-old says. I could beat up a lion. I could fight a lion if I had to. In the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Ricky Gervais has roasted Hollywood's biggest names, mocked billionaires directly to their faces, and told rooms packed with the world's most influential people exactly what was on his mind. But no one saw coming what unfolded the night Trump finally decided to strike back. It began the way these things always begin. A late-night post. Trump calling Gervais a talentless, washed-up hack, a liberal loser, never funny, never successful, the standard playbook. Most people would have let it go, put out a statement, handed it off to their PR team. Ricky Gervais is not most people. He was midway through a sold-out stand-up run in London when word reached him. His tour manager knocked on the dressing room door 20 minutes before curtain and said, "He posted about you again." Gervais looked up from his phone, already smiling. "Which one?" he asked. "The washed-up one." "Ah," Gervais said. "The classic." He placed his phone face down on the table, got to his feet, and walked straight out to the stage. What followed wasn't a clapback. It wasn't a tirade. It wasn't even really directed at Trump. That's precisely what made it so effective. Gervais opened with silence. Just stood there, looked out at the audience, and let the quiet stretch until people began laughing purely from anticipation. Then he said softly, "The most powerful man in the world is upset with me." He paused. "I'm going to need a moment." The crowd erupted, but Gervais raised a hand. No, let me think through this properly." He began pacing the stage slowly. "He called me a talentless hack, which is curious," he said. Another pause. "Because I created The Office while he was hosting a reality show where he pretended to fire people."
And who had to be helped down the stairs. Right, this is a man who was scared of a tame eagle. So this is not a brave man.
Gervais let the laughter settle, then shifted the way only the finest comedians can, from funny to something far sharper, without changing his delivery at all. "Here's what I find genuinely interesting," he said. "A man who lives in a golden house." He stopped. A golden house. Someone who spent his entire life announcing to the world that he's a winner. Who built his whole identity around the idea that he's the greatest at everything. He tilted his head. "And the thing keeping him awake at night," he pointed at himself, "is me." The room exploded. Gervais waited for it to settle. "I'm not insulted," he went on. "Honestly, I'm a little flattered. I had no idea I carried that much weight. My mother would be proud." But then the grin softened slightly. "What I find remarkable," he said, "is the pattern. Someone tells a joke, he fires back. The joke grows larger. He fires back again. The joke becomes legendary." Gervais opened his hands wide. He isn't fighting comedians. He's financing them.
I think he's got that childlike narcissism that he sort of, if he says it, it sort of might be true. But yeah. I think there's a bit of troll about him.
That, Gervais said, pointing at the air, is the real punchline. Not the spray tan. Not the small hands. Not even the golden house. He leaned toward the microphone. The punchline is that the easiest person on earth to rattle is the very one who keeps insisting he can't be rattled. The audience had gone very still, not quiet in an uncomfortable way, but still in the way that only happens when something lands with perfect precision. Gervais looked out at them. Politicians have communications teams, image consultants, entire departments whose sole purpose is to prevent them from posting something foolish at 2 in the morning. He smiled. Ricky Gervais has a phone and bad intentions. He let that breathe. And somehow, I'm the dangerous one. A woman in the front row began applauding and didn't stop until the entire room followed. Backstage afterward, a journalist asked Gervais whether he was concerned about the ongoing exchange, whether it might pull focus from the tour, whether there was a publicist he ought to be calling. Gervais considered it for exactly 1 second. "No," he said. The journalist pushed further. "But what if he keeps posting? What if things escalate?" Gervais picked up his water bottle, took a sip, and looked at the journalist the way a chess player looks at someone who has just walked their pawn directly into a trap. "Then he keeps making me famous," he said. "I don't see the issue."
The awards are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer.
First of all, I can't get enough of him. It's great. I started off thinking it was quite funny, and then it got a bit serious. And now I don't know whether to want him to get in for the fun of it or not.
Within 48 hours, footage from that performance had surpassed 30 million views. Fellow comedians piled on. Colbert, Oliver, Kimmel, even Fallon, who typically steers clear of anything politically charged, slipped in a one-liner. Trump posted 4 more times. Each new post pushed the clip even further across the internet. Each response handed every late-night host in America another monologue, another segment, another perfectly gift-wrapped punchline, delivered by the very subject of the joke himself.
But I love him. I just want to see a channel 24/7, just him talking, because it's amazing.
It is amazing.
I love it. So he doesn't mean to be funny. That's the beauty of it.
Ricky Gervais didn't come out on top because he was wittier. He didn't prevail because he commanded a larger platform, a sharper insult, or a more capable team. He came out on top because he understood something Trump has never grasped across decades in the public eye. The only way to beat a comedian is to refuse to play. The instant you respond, you've already handed them the victory, because comedians don't need your respect. They don't need your endorsement. They don't even need you to be in the wrong. They just need you to react.
I don't judge people who voted for him like I judge him. You know, I think you know,
there were reasons for it.
They're victims too. They were sold a lie. You know, I don't understand why people fell for this. We're going to drain the swamp of this liberal elite from a man who lives in a gold house.
And so, while Trump sat somewhere with a Diet Coke in hand and his thumbs on the keyboard, Gervais was already back on stage for night 2 of the tour. The opening line, he posted again. The crowd already knew. They were already laughing before the next word left his mouth. Because that's what happens when you try to silence someone whose entire profession is being heard. You don't quiet them down. You simply hand them sharper material. And in a media environment fueled by outrage, the person who stays composed, stays entertained, and stays on stage doesn't just win the joke. He wins everything that comes after it, too. Subscribe if you believe that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all.